Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Elon Osborne and this is my redundant. Hey everybody, my name is Elon Osborne and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about movies, audio, and music. And if you also like that kind of thing, please consider subscribing and liking this video because I try and bring you this edutainment in a fun and engaging way. Today I'm going to be talking about Netflix's Dark. IMDb describes it as a family saga with a supernatural twist set in a German town where the disappearance of two young children exposes the relationships among four families. But honestly, there's a lot more to it than that description. This isn't going to be a review of the show itself, this is just going to be me highlighting some audio aspects that I found intriguing when I was watching the show. But first off, let's give credit where credit is due, because the sound department almost never gets the love that they deserve. The supervising sound editor for the entire series was Alexander Wurtz. Since Dark is set in Germany and everybody speaks German, Alexander Wurtz has done a lot of shows and short films and animations that are also in German. He was an assistant sound re-recording mixer on Cloud Atlas, but by far he is most well known for Netflix's Dark. So congrats, Alexander, on your big break.
Much love.
And just real quick, let's also talk about
the music.
The composer for Dark is Ben Frost, a native Australian who relocated to Iceland in 2005. His music can be described as intensely structured sound art with militant post-classical electronic music, shape-shifting physical power with immersive melody, concentrated minimalism with fierce, rupturing metal. Yeah, and honestly, that kind of describes the music in Dark. There's definitely a lot of sound design elements within the score, so it makes it really cool. Ben Frost is also most well known for composing the score for Raised by Wolves, the incredible sci-fi thriller from HBO. If you haven't seen Raised by Wolves, I'd highly recommend that too. And now, the experience! So just up front, I have a 5.1.4 Dolby Atmos setup in my living room. And usually when I'm streaming shows, it sounds pretty good. I mean, honestly, because a lot of the times they're only mixed as 5.1, so then my receiver just kind of has to make up the difference and then add some stuff above and kind of up mix. But Dark in particular does stream in 4K, and it does stream in Dolby Atmos. Right away, one thing that I noticed about this particular show is that so many scenes transition by having this quiet noise start to get louder and louder and louder. And then as soon as it cuts to the next scene, there's this deep subsonic boom. I was actually really impressed. But on the flip side, the first season in particular, it does that a lot. Like to the point where it's almost a little comical, where it's just so dramatic that, oh my gosh, we have another transition to another scene. So it gets a little excessive, but that's just a minor little gripe that I have about the show. But that being said, if you have a couple subwoofers or just a subwoofer at all, it's gonna give your subwoofer a nice workout. I was really impressed with the sound design just in general with this show.
Side note.
Also, if you're not watching this show in the original German, you're missing out. I would highly recommend if you watch anything foreign to watch it in the original audio. You get the original performance out of all the actors, you know? If you're against reading subtitles, I would honestly recommend that you kind of change your attitude towards that. No offense against those who dub foreign shows or foreign movies, right? Everybody needs a job, everybody wants a paycheck, I get it. But listening to somebody in English trying to match the emotion on screen by just talking to a microphone, you can just tell that the performance just isn't up to snuff compared to the actual actors who are interacting with each other on set, getting those raw emotions out, you know? So just a little word of advice, if you're one of those people who likes to listen to the English dubbed version, I would highly recommend listening to the actual original foreign dialogue. Enough with that tangent. Like I said with the composer Ben Frost, he does add a lot of sound design elements in his score. So the sound design and the score just have this interwoven relationship throughout the whole show, and it's really cool. Regarding the score in general, kind of like a Star Wars movie or just old school John Williams, how he would assign a particular theme either to a character or a situation. The same goes with the score for Dark. A lot of particular situations and characters have their own distinct musical cue or motif. So with the character Noah, for example, his theme is basically just kind of like this wailing synthesizer. If I can try and mimic it the best, it's just kind of this synthesizer note that just goes. That's terrible. That sounds nothing like what it actually sounds like. But it's just one note, but it kind of trails up, almost like a plane flying overhead or something. But speaking of overhead, there are several times where that particular motif of Noah's will travel from above you from behind and travel to the front soundstage. So it'll start up here and it'll go. It's really cool. It's just an additional layer of audio and sound design that they honestly didn't have to mix it that way, but they did. So I think because they knew they were going to be mixing it in Dolby Atmos for Netflix, they decided to just go bananas. Since this show does deal with time a lot, there are musical elements that sound like ticking clocks. And there is this one particular percussive element in the score where it just sounds like tiny little drumsticks tapping on something like that, and that will travel as well, like just real detailed. It'll be behind you and it'll be in front to the side, and it'll kind of travel all around. So like I said, this is a very impressive, surprising Dolby Atmos mix that I just wasn't prepared for. One thing that is very present in this show is lots and lots of rain. And lots of people who don't mind standing in the rain for some reason. But on a sound design standpoint, it's really great in Dolby Atmos because you've got rain falling in front of you, to the side of you, behind you, and above you. So you're right in the middle of the elements. Like I said, I'm not going to go into the plot or anything or review the show as a whole, but it does get kind of convoluted towards the end, and there's so many timelines and characters and things you have to be really on top of to understand what's going on. But in the end, it all comes together beautifully. So I would not only recommend Dark just for watching it, but also just because it's going to give your Dolby Atmos system a workout. And I think you're going to like it. In no way did I think I was going to be talking about it on my YouTube channel, but here we are.
So there you have it, folks.
Have you watched Netflix's Dark? Do you plan on watching it now that I've recommended it? If you did see it, what did you think about it? If you have seen it and just didn't really focus on the audio, are you going to watch it again and revisit it? As always, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss another video about home theater and audio. And of course, always be listening.